Darkness. The unknown. In one way or another, both seem to make an uncomfortable combination. It is precisely there where our deepest fears can come true. Keeping this in mind, it is in this top that I will show you 5 incredible cases of situations that have no explanation. Dark records that come precisely from the combination of both words, especially in post number 2, where you will know the case of Blake Smith, a mystery that has left everyone completely frozen. My name is Leonore Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present the horrifying Blake Smith case, 5 terrifying videos. Much of the videos you are about to see were sent by my audience. If you know or have paranormal material that you would like for me to see, do not hesitate to send it to the email that you now see on screen, or as a direct message to my official Facebook. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 5. The video that starts as top is a controversial record that a follower named Joanna wanted to share with us. In her email, she says that an uncle of hers works in a toy store, an area that during the day is filled with joy and happiness. However, during the night and in the middle of the dark, this place becomes his most terrifying nightmare. You see, Joanna's family member perceives strange things. Nothing out of the ordinary, but he always had a bad feeling as he walked the corridors as a security guard. It was a night when, in the middle of a tour of the establishment, he suddenly began to hear laughter, strange laughter from children that came from one of the store's aisles. As he was advancing, the laughter was increasing in intensity. What his eyes saw when he got there generated such an impact that he could only take out his cell phone to record without being able to say a word. Do you know what's strange about this record? Joanna's uncle says those dolls are activated only by squeezing one of their hands. And here, much of them seem to activate not once, but repeatedly. He even assures that during that night, he thought he heard a recording that those dolls do not have. During the day, he tried to squeeze the hand of that toy without being able to replicate that part. Number 4. It has always been said that during the night you must have greater awareness when driving, that your senses must be more alert to any unforeseen event. Events that can be of any kind, including those of a paranormal nature. This is what happened to a man who was traveling late at night on the highway in Japan. The vehicle in which he was moving was provided with a camera on its front to record any inconvenience that might arise on his route. However, the driver never imagined that this camera would record something much more unusual than a simple inconvenience. Pay attention. In driving lessons, you are usually taught to avoid obstacles that appear in the road, a vehicle, an animal, or in the worst case, a person. However, there is no manual or instruction in the world that tells you how to react to something like this. It is unknown if the driver actually saw what was recorded on that camera. Could it be false? Tell me what you think. Number 3. The video that lies in this position came into my possession thanks to a follower who wanted his record to not be forgotten. He believes that in his video, something paranormal happens. Let's take a look. It all happened in a small town in Guatemala. An inexplicable fire spread throughout the market. An incident that was of such magnitude that, according to reports, it unfortunately reduced the enclosure completely to ashes. Our follower recorded simply because it was the biggest fire that he had ever seen in his life. What is captured here happened completely by accident. The darkness of the night, in contrast of the brightness of the fire, make it clearly visible as a metallic object similar to a supermarket cart literally jumps through the air in the middle of the sinister. If you pay attention, it seems that someone, a person hidden from view, took it and intentionally threw it into the fire, which is undoubtedly impossible due to the high temperatures and the danger of the act. No one would dare to be this close to such a fire. So the thesis that someone was in the room at that time is rightly impossible. Could it be perhaps an explosion inside? But what kind of explosion affects only one object, and with such force? Do you have a reasonable explanation for what happened here? Number 2. In this position, we find a strange situation that happened to a boy in the United States. The boy you see on the screen gave his name simply as Blake, a young man who, if you saw him on the street, would go completely unnoticed. However, some time ago on his YouTube channel that had no more than 200 subscribers, began to gain more and more public due to a disturbing phenomena that he began to experience. One day, he felt strange sounds coming from his basement. Vulnerability and fear immediately took over him. However, his curiosity was greater, managing to go down to the dark basement and recording what you will see now.
Hello? Hello?
There is no doubt that those strange sounds are too noticeable. Something was definitely not going well at Blake's house. He called the police, who inspected without finding anything. However, the sounds were not soothing. Blake was courageous, and following the advice of his subscribers and friends, he went down again, managing this time to capture something far beyond just screaming. Watch.
Who the fuck's on the door? Oh, Jesus. Are those... Hello? Oh. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck, that's too much for me. Too much for me. Jesus, 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 Jesus.
What is this? It seems to be a person covered in a kind of robe. Leaving the paranormal aside, Blake made the right decision and did nothing more than escape from there, verifying incidentally that he was never alone at home. I will put light effects to see if you can distinguish it more clearly. Put yourself in his shoes. Imagine what you would have done. He spent several nights with noises, but no object had been lost. That was not a criminal. If it were to be a real person, what was he doing at his home? What was he expecting? The last video that was uploaded to his account shows some children recording a supposed ghost moving things. This last video was uploaded more than a year ago. We have never heard from Blake again. Number 1. And the footage that crowns this top is, according to some, the most tangible proof that completely prohibited experiments are carried out in Russia, while for others, it is simply a montage. Let's see. It has always been said that in Russia's state apparatus is so powerful that it is practically impossible for secret information to leak through the networks. However, a few years ago, a particular video alerted internet users and hackers who always surf the net for confidential information. Unfortunately, I will not be able to show you the video in its entirety, but I will explain what it is about. The image you see corresponds to a security camera installed in a room of what is supposedly a madhouse. In the footage, you can see how a patient with evident mental imbalances travels uneasily through the place, a dark and gloomy place, in what would clearly indicate that he is being experimented with. The record is incredibly disturbing, especially if we look at this final image, in which the subject seemed to levitate by itself, a video that at first glance seems to be taken from the most disturbing horror movie, which is why many claim it would only be a montage. However, to this day, this clip remains a mystery. I hope you like this video, because we have come to an end. My name is Leonore, and this was The Darkest Secret.